All right, we're now learning a Sikha in Lakuti Sikha's base about Shavuos. We're on page 254. When the Torah was given, the Torah was the will and the wisdom of God. They're given directly by God to the Jewish people. But the Torah is also logic. Logic. The Torah is also logical. There's young men sit in yeshivas and they learn Torah, the oral Torah, what's called the oral Torah, the Talmud. They've been doing this for almost 2,000 years, sitting and learning the Torah and the ideas of the Torah and the logic of the Torah. What's the difference between the logic of the Torah and normal logic? Normal logic is based on axioms, and the Torah is also based on axioms. The problem is normal logic is based on axioms. That what are those axioms based on? They're based on you feeling what a person likes, and upon this, he bases all of his logic. What he thinks is the most foundational thing in the world, what the philosophers of his country or his nation or his religion, what they say, is that's what it is. What's the difference in Judaism? Judaism is based also on basic axioms, but these axioms were given by God. So what's the difference? Let's go down to this. Okay, v'zeh. First word in line is zeh. Good. Zeh, efo. You can sit a little more over here if you want. You can move over here. Okay. Zeh, efo, this. However, hayavdel. This is the difference. Bein chachmat l'Torah. This is the difference between normal wisdom and Torah wisdom. What's the difference? Kabbalat davar chachma taluya b'ratzon atov. Accepting ideas of the wise men, of the non-Jews, or advice of scientists or psychiatrists or psychologists, this depends on a person's will, what he likes. If these general ideas, principles of the psychology, or of the philosophy, or economic policies, or you have communism, you have capitalism, you have this, or the different types of government, right? All these ideas, they're based on something. They're based on ideas, right? And what are these ideas based on? They're based on some sort of an axiom, a principle. And where does this axiom come from? It comes from what people like. If people like this idea, then they accept it and they build on it. If they don't like the idea, then they don't accept it and they don't build on it. This doesn't mean this is not saying that the basic axioms that all these different philosophies and methods and ideas and political systems are based on, that they themselves are logical. They're not logical. It's just that the logic of these different systems is built on that. Lo kein Torah, that's not the case of the Torah. Shehi kamaimar Zohar, like it says in the Zohar, Torah milashon hora. The Torah comes to teach. HaTorah malamedes adam. A Torah comes to teach people at hatzorich what is necessary, what is permissible, what is forbidden. These are three basic guiding principles of life. What's permissible to do, what you have to do, and what's forbidden to do. Nowadays, like the professor Viktor Frankl, he writes, he's a very big expert in psychiatry, psychology. The Rebbe also held from him very much. He said nowadays what happens is, since that all of the basic ideas of values have been removed, so people don't know what they should do, and they don't know also what their nature is to do, and people don't even know today what they want to do. They have to be convinced by advertising, by politicians, by whoever, to stand up and tell them what they want to do. People don't even know what they want to do. They don't know what's right and wrong. They don't even know what you can do whatever you want. What do you want? I don't know. Right? I'm free. I can do whatever I want to do. You have freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want. I got nothing to say. Right? What does it mean? So that's why they can stand up, a Lenin, a Hitler, or this, or whatever, and say, I know what you want. You want to be like this. Everybody says, oh, that's what I want. Now I realize. Right? Or advertisements. You want Coca-Cola. You want, oh yeah, that's what I want. That's what I need. That's what's going to put meaning in my life. People don't know. Says the Rebbe, the Torah, on the other hand, is not man-made. The Torah comes and teaches you what man is. What is permissible for you. It gives you guidelines. There is what we can call what's forbidden, what is optional, and what is a mitzvah. What is you must do, what you must not do, and what's optional, you can choose or not. A Torah od doreshet lahafoch et hadavar harashut lemitzvah. And the Torah also says that there's a commandment. It says kadoshim tihiyu. We just said you have to make everything in your life holy. The way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you put on your shoes, everything has to be holy. How do you make it holy? What are you supposed to do to make it holy? Everything you do, you think, I'm doing this because God wants me to be healthy, because God wants, and I'm doing it the way that God wants, right? As a result, when a person puts on his shoes, he's not going to try to put on shoes that are flashy, that draw everybody's attention. Right? He's not going to try to dress in a way that's provocative, in a way that he sticks out. He's going to dress in a way that's modest. He's going to dress in a way that's clean. He's going to dress in a way that's nice, right? There's not going to be in a way that's necessarily attractive. Right? That's not the purpose of putting on clothes. The purpose of putting on clothes is to cover yourself up so that you'll be modest, so that you'll be presentable. You can talk to people. It won't draw their attention away from what you have to say and what you think. People are looking at, how this muscle is and how that muscle is, and you have a tattoo and you have other than. Torah madricha et adam. The Torah teaches a person without considering if he wants it or not. That if a person likes it, then he'll accept the Torah, and if not, not. HaTorah moreh v'doreshet litnaheg kach mibli she'adavar yeh talui b'ratzon hatov. It doesn't. The Torah does not appeal to your approval or not. You don't have to give the Torah approval. The Torah would like it very much if you approved. The Torah would like it very much if you agreed with everything that says there. After all, it is the will of God who's creating you. I mean, He's doing you a pretty big favor by creating you, giving you eyeballs and ears and teeth and things like that. That's pretty good, right? God is giving you all these things. So, and He's giving it to you for free. You can do all the sins in the world, God forbid, and God will still keep keeping you alive. So do something for Him for free. Do what's right or wrong. But don't say it depends on what I want, right? Came along Reform Judaism, Conservative Judaism, all this, and they said, listen, this commandment I like. This one, if you want to, you can do it, This commandment, I don't think anybody should do it. It's not a proper, not a proper commandment. Right? We don't need this one anymore. The prohibition of, intermarriage. Come on, that's, doesn't make any sense. Let's forget about this. On the other hand, the command of eating matzah on Pesach, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. We'll do that one. But the prohibition to eat chametz on Pesach, what, take it or leave it. If you like it, do it. If you don't like it, don't do it. The rabbi, for instance, he doesn't, he doesn't accept that. He eats chametz on Pesach. But you can do whatever you want. Right? The Torah is for man. A man is not for the Torah. Right? This is a very big mistake. It's not so. The fact of the matter is the Torah is Hashem's will. And it's like if a person says, listen, I don't want my nose to be in the middle of my face. I'm going to make a thing. I'm going to put noses, and I don't think I don't think there's any reason that everybody should have noses in the middle of it. Why not put a nose up here? I'll make an operation, and my nose will be whatever I want. You can do that, right? But you're deviating from what's normal. That's one of the reasons why, according to the Torah, you're not supposed to make tattoos. But you don't like what God did. Right, it's not nice. You have to make a picture of a rocket ship or something. It's not right. But why wasn't I created with a rocket ship? It's a sign that God does not like me. God is not perfect. If He was perfect, He would make a picture of a monkey. It makes sense. Everybody would do everything that they wanted, whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, with whomever they wanted. And there's people who make philosophies like that. I know people that were in groups that were like that. They were like that. The Torah is, on one hand, very restrictive. But also, medicine is also restrictive. Anatomy is very restrictive. Human anatomy is very restrictive. Right? You look at the heart has to be specifically there. There has to be so many veins. Let's get rid of a few veins. Right? Well, why do you have to have so many veins and blood vessels inside of this? let's replace it with electricity instead. Right? You won't have to eat, you just change batteries. Why not? Why didn't God make it that way? It's a sign that something is wrong. Huh? Right? Be cheaper. Right? You won't have to get blood transfusions. There won't be any HIV and stuff like that. You won't have any diseases. You just change the batteries. You change the people
won't need food.
They won't need food anymore, right? No more lunchrooms, no more cooks, no more this. What do? Batteries. Everybody will have batteries. You can plug yourself into the wall. You plug yourself into the wall once in a while. That would be ideal, right? But that's not the way that God made the world. He didn't make people that way, and that's the way that nature is, right? It's like Columbus discovered America. He didn't invent America. He discovered what already is. The Torah is the way things are. That's the way the upper worlds are. Maybe you can say, well, why is Judaism better than any other religion? None of the other religions even claim that God, the creator of the universe, came and spoke to everybody. Judaism is the only one that even makes the claim that God spoke to everybody. The creator of the universe is coming and telling us what the universe is about, why he gave the Torah, why you have free will, and the right thing to do with your free will. You don't want to do it. You don't have to, but you should know you're doing the wrong thing. Right? You can deny you have a grandmother, but if you got a grandmother, you got a grandmother. You can deny it if you want to. That's what it means if someone tells you that there is wisdom and the non-Jews believe it. Yesh Torah b'goyim, but if someone tells you there is Torah by the non-Jews, don't believe it. Chachma taluya b'ratzon. The wisdom depends on a person's approval, the haskama, hamakabel, and the agreement of the person who is listening. You don't like Aristotle's ideas, throw him out the windows. Maybe he's wrong, could be he's wrong. Mitsuya gam b'kerav hagoyim. This is found also by the non-Jews. They can have tremendously wise ideas, very, very deep. If they found favor in the eyes of a person, Yesodas v'klali higayon, these basic foundations of understanding, harihu mekabel et haskala, then he receives the ideas. But Torah is different. Shehi tzorech litkabil. This Torah has to be received. Torah is not discovering is not inventing the truth, inventing new ideas. It's discovering what God wants, even if it doesn't seem to work. This is not found by the non-Jews. The non-Jews have not got such a thing as there is absolute truth. This is what must be done. No such thing. Doesn't exist. Each one has his idea how you can get into heaven, how you can get in blessings, how you can get in this. And the Torah says, forget about heaven, forget about getting blessings. We're not talking about that at all. Here we have a method, even if it means that by means of this method, you're going to go to hell and you're not going to get any blessings. This is the truth. Right? God told Abraham to kill his son, take him and kill his son. It could have been that Abraham would have gotten the opposite, wouldn't got any reward for that. Can't kill people. Abraham didn't care about this world, didn't care about the next world, didn't care about it. The previous Rebbe sent his Chassidim out to teach Torah to people, and it risked their lives. And someone said to the previous Rebbe, you can't risk a person's life just to teach children Torah. You can't do that. So the Rebbe said, I'm willing to lose this world, I'm willing to lose the next world. I don't care. Jewish children are going to learn the Torah. So it means he doesn't care anything about where did he get this idea from? Why? Because the Torah is the essence. If a person doesn't have the Torah, then he loses all the framework of the world. Right?
Loses his identity as well.
Loses his identity. Here we have communism. Communism conquered the Torah. Communism knocked out all of Judaism. Communism erased everything. Communism was the ultimate truth. Communism was going to take over the world. Communism was going to bring world peace, world equality. Everything was going to be what? Communism till 90? All of a sudden, no more communism. That's it. What happened to communism? No more communism.
Did God destroy it?
Of course, they say the joke that in Russia when there was the glasnost, the perestroika, was it 1991? I think 1990. The wall fell. So there was no more communism anymore. So there was a plane going to Israel, and a Jewish lady is pushing in the line to get. So they said to her, "Ma'am, what are you pushing for? Just please take it." She says, "Communism, communism, communism." They said, "But didn't you hear? Communism fell. There's no more communism in Russia." She says, "Yeah, that's why I want to go to Israel. In Israel, there is communism. There's still." The Jews got so used to loving the communism. Some of the biggest communists were Jews. Oh, Jews loved communism. Communism was we. That was the answer. The Jews love ideas that they're going to change the world. It's going to be world change. Jew has to do something. He's always moving, dynamic.
I mean, a lot of people didn't have much in there. Also, thought of communism as a game because they don't have anything. They were able to gain equality and all that stuff.
Really, the fact of the matter is that what did Stalin, Yamach Shemo, what did he accomplish? Education. He really did bring education. Before Stalin, the Russian people were totally uneducated. They were peasants. I don't know what percentage. I mean, 80%, 70%, whatever. But they were totally illiterate people. And Stalin made it mandatory that everyone go to school. He made schools everywhere you knew. And also he made Russia into a what is it called? I forgot the word. Machines with factories, industrial giant. Right before that, it wasn't industrial. That's what things that I read. He killed them, and in order to do this wonderful thing, he killed like 50 million of his own people. There's some modern estimates that say that this is a total exaggeration. He was not such an evil person. He only killed 20 million people. But 20 million people is the most moderate estimation that there is, which is not such a bad thing. Only 20 million. The guy killed his own people. He was from Georgia, from Georgia. He killed the Gruzinim. He killed his own people. They say he killed his wife. Communism, and that's nothing compared. That's nothing compared with Mao Zedong did. Mao Zedong, according to almost all opinions, he killed 50 million people. But it's a smaller percentage. I mean, on the other hand, you can judge him the Kaf Zahut because it's a smaller percentage of the Chinese people than what Stalin killed. I mean, I think in Russia there's like 300 million people, something like that. 300 million, something like that. So he killed, let's say, 1/6 of them. And Mao Zedong, he killed 50 million people. There's a billion people over there. Which that's a much, a couple.
Where are the cops when you need them?
Huh? They were the ones that were killing everyone.
What? He served the president in that case.
Who's going to put him out?
I think they already did put him out.
Oh, yeah, good. But if you would have said what you're just saying now in the time of Stalin, that's it. You would have been
dead.
Yeah. Where's Zachariah? Didn't you already said yesterday? Yeah, I did. I think that answers your question. Yeah, okay.
He got hung.
Chassidus. Let's go on. So all these ideas are all wonderful ideas. They're beautiful ideas, not to even talk about the ideas of all the different religions and the billions of people that believe in all these religions, but all of these religions are made up. And they're based on false ideas. So we can open the window, open the door again. I think I'm going to try to get a fan for the room.
Yeah.
Fan. See? Maybe it'll help.
Definitely.
Unidirectional. Oh, yes. Dalid. Okay. Ask yourself a question. The Jewish people received the Torah 3,331 years ago. As if this, in a few days it'll be 32. I think 32. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be 31. Maybe 248. Yeah. So. This is 39. So I guess it'll be 31. I guess in another few days it'll be 31. Right. 2448, right. So, I mean, the Jewish people have been accepting the Torah and doing the Torah for all this time. Even for like the 2,000 years they haven't had a holy temple. They've been accepting the Torah and doing these ideas. Even though the whole rest of the world has been working on just pure logic and what they want and their own feelings. And the Jews have been accepting these illogical ideas of the Torah for 2,000 years. I mean, are the Jews that stupid? They're all so foolish. Only recently did there stand up, groups. There was, first of all, Moses Mendelssohn and these other people saying, hey, let's be logical, guys. Come on. The Torah, don't you realize the Torah is totally illogical? It's based on the idea that there's God. Who says that there's God? Right? You want to believe it, believe it. You don't want to believe it, don't believe it. Before that, every Jew believed in Torah all the time. And after Mendelssohn also, Jews also the same thing, right? They still believe in the Torah. Good, there's a bunch of Jews that nowadays they have excuses why not to do it, because he said it. Spinoza and these people. But nevertheless, there has always been a core of Jewish people, several 100,000 at least, that they really believe every word of the Torah and they go according to the Torah's logic, right? How could you expect a thing like that from people? How could God expect things if it... So let's look at Koach Zeh, this ability, Shel Klitat Inyan Shel Torah, of accepting the ideas of the Torah, Af Beli Sheyehei, even though it is not, Kashur, attached, Behaskama, with your agreement, Matsui is found Ach Barach B'Kerev Yisrael. Only the Jews are willing to do a thing like this. Here, think to yourself for a second. There's these other religions. They believe that the Torah is true, but they don't observe the Torah, right? All of Christianity, they believe that the Torah Bible is true. Every single word is true, right? What about the ideas? Nah, it doesn't. We explain them the way we want, right? Keeping Shabbos means spiritual. Putting on tefillin, spiritual. Eating kosher is spiritual. It's not the simple meaning. What? Yes. That what it says, according to them, right? They want to say that their religion replaces Judaism, and now Jews do not have to keep Shabbat anymore. That's what they say. The Shabbat is an idea, right? You keep it whenever you want, and you can keep it however you want. However you want.
No, it's the Gentiles.
Gentiles is saying the Jews don't have to.
Right. Gentiles don't have to keep Shabbat. No, the Gentiles have the Torah. They accept the Torah. No, not so. No. They say the Old Testament is for all mankind, and now we have a New Testament which proves it. And therefore all of these laws are binding on all mankind, and there's no difference between a Jew and a non-Jew, except for the fact that we have to get the Jews away from this idea that they are still a chosen people or something like that.
Yeah, we say now the new Bible is supposed to be...
Right. The new Bible is now for everybody, but it's based on the old. It's a new interpretation of the old Bible. In other words, the Christians accept every single letter of the Torah, every letter, but they don't accept even one word of the Torah Shebaal Peh, of the Talmud. According to them came along JC, and he explained everything in a brand new way. And he can do it because the Torah was given by God, and now this is the Son of God. He's wrong, but the fact is that
he was the son of God. He was Jewish.
Every Jew is the son of God. So every Jew can... Let's forget about it. I don't want to go into what their ideas are. But nevertheless, what's the basis of what they're saying? Let's go according to human logic. Human logic. The Torah was given for everybody to interpret however they want, which basically is not any different than Reform Judaism and Conservative Judaism. It's basically the exact same thing. It's just a different nuance. Just a different nuance. If so, how can you expect the Jewish people to really accept all these nonsensical ideas of the Torah? Mamzer. A woman that gets married to a man, her husband beats her, he leaves her, he runs away, everybody tells her he's dead, but she has no proof. Right? She has no proof. Maybe he died, maybe not. She gets remarried. Right? And after she gets remarried, she has a son, and her husband comes back. That son is called a mamzer. That son can never marry a Jewish woman. Does that make any sense? No. It's against logic. It makes no sense. That's terrible. What type of a law is that?
It's not the
Right?
kid's fault.
Right? It's not the kid's fault. What is he supposed to suffer for? Because that's the law of the Torah. You want to believe it? You want to believe what God said? That's what God said. The reason it came out this way is because for some spiritual reason, this is exactly the best for everybody. You believe that? Some people will say, no way. Some people say, yeah, I believe it. Right? That's what it says in the Torah, that there is such a thing. Who's going to believe a thing like that? Makes no sense. It says Jews have been believing this for thousands of years, not only to go to heaven or to burn in hell. That's what God says. Where is the power in a Jew to do a thing like this? Maybe a couple people, religious people, right? But we find that there's a lot of Jews that believe in this. A lot of Jews. Tens of thousands, right? Maybe, who knows, millions, who knows what. They made a survey in Israel, and they found that in Israel, that 70-80% of the non-religious Jews do commandments. They put on tefillin, they keep kosher, some of them even keep Shabbos. Right? They do it. Why do they do it? They're not religious. They hate religious. They hate religion. They hate the religious people. Because God said. Who said God said? Where did you get this thing for God said? There's so many other things that God said. Why don't you do them? I don't know. But this I do because God said. You do it to get a blessing. You do it to get health. You get it. Nah. I do it because that's what God said. I don't know. I'm a Jew. A Jew puts on tefillin. I don't understand why. We talked about it in the morning. Circumcising your children. Right? Circumcising your children. Once in a while, all the time, there stands up groups of Jews. Usually, they say, "Hey, we can't do this anymore." Right? The Jew, you circumcise your children when they're 8 days old. That's why they have traumas. That's why the non-Jews are so normal, because they don't circumcise, and the Jews are all, come out weirdos like Freud and these people. Right? They all have these complexes and neuroses and psychoses and everything, birth traumas and this stuff. It's all because of circumcision. Stop the circumcision, everybody's going to be normal.
I had a friend, like, he came to me, my doctor told me that you can circumcise, but I don't want him to do it. I want one of the Jewish circumcised. Can you arrange it for me?
You can do it. It's permissible to do. Huh? No, it's permissible for a mohel to circumcise him, sure, but not with a blessing or anything like that. Sure. It's permissible. It's a healthy thing to do. Sometimes it's healthy. All the times there pops up people that say it's not healthy. It's
unless you're doing it for religion, you're violating the law, practicing medicine without a license.
That could be. Yep. Right. Sure, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
How would a shochet bring his knife across the border and I have a license, not real?
No, that's not medicine.
But I'm just saying it's still like something that would consider.
No, no, slaughtering animals is okay.
I'm just saying if you have a tuda for what's called
a mohel.
No, for a shochet, except that the border is like I'm a shochet. I'm gonna pass my knife or something.
No, if you put it in your bag, a lot of shochtim go with big knives. But that's a different question. Okay, how is it? This is the question. How is it that Jews throughout the generations have been accepting this nonsense? The Jews are not such stupid people. It's the am chacham v'navon. If you want to say all the religious people are all stupid, how do they accept these nonsensical ideas of the Torah? How? It says, and not only that, it's only found by the Jews. Why? Shekol ish Yisrael yesh lo neshama. Because each Jew has what's called a soul. Hakashurim HaKodesh Baruch Hu, that it's attached with God directly. That's what we talked about in the morning. Right? The godly soul. And this godly soul, Kafisha Anu Omrim, Neshama Shenatata Bi, Tahorahi. This soul that's inside of me is pure. Don't pick them, it'll just get worse. V'kol b'nei Yisrael amdu al Har Sinai. Every Jew stood on Mount Sinai. Every Jew, even the farthest away Jew, even the most anti-Jew, even Trotsky, all these people, they stood on Mount Sinai. Peshat Matan Torah. V'af neshamot atidot. All the souls. V'kein neshamot shehayu kodem lechein. And also all the Jews that existed before that, and they died, let's say in Egypt. All of the Jews for all of the generations were on Mount Sinai. And this, when God said, I am God, your God, he said it in singular. Elokecha. So it went into every Jew and made every Jew crazy. That every Jew is willing to do anything and everything to serve God. And every Jew, it is impossible for a Jew to go against the will of God. Impossible. Why do Jews do it? Either they're not educated or they go temporarily insane. But it's there. In other words, what's the point? Every Jew is just waiting for you to come and ask him to please put on tefillin to do a mitzvah. It could say, he'll say no. It could be you have to ask him 1,000 times. It could be you have to ask him 10,000 times. But he wants to do it. Every Jew wants to instead. Shema, heard, Eifo, call Yehudi. Every Jew heard God calling him. The call echad ve'echad michud. Every single Jew at Mount Sinai heard God say, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. I am God, your God. Every Jew heard it. Anochi ve'loid ramez b'shum ot v'shum kots. The name Anochi is higher than any name, Kabbalistic name of God. The essence of God himself. Called out to every single Jew individually. Hu kochacha v'chayetcha. That's what it means. I am God, your God. See what you did? I am God.
It's not a mosquito bite, it's something else.
I know, don't do it. This is I am God, your God. What does it mean, your God? Your power and your energy. Tiburo shel makom chashuv ma'aseh. God's word is considered to be deed. Na'aseh davar kach. When God said, I am your God, it automatically became that way. Shekocho v'chayotahu. You should press on it. It won't bleed anymore.
It's fine. I'm making it bleed. It's not a mosquito bite. I think it's either a beast that a stinger got stuck in my gun.
Okay, good.
Black particles on it.
Okay, you can pull it. Okay. V'zeh shekativ atzmo. That's what it says. Anochi. What is Anochi? Anochi are the first letters. Ana nafshi katavit yahavit. It's in the Talmud. In Shabbos. My soul wrote down and I gave. That's what God said. When God gave the Torah, he wrote down his soul and he put it in a book. Now every Jew that reads the Torah is connected to the soul of the creator of the universe, higher than all the worlds, higher than heaven, higher than anything, is higher than all creation. You are actually attached to God, every single Jew. And that's what makes the Jews crazy when they learn the Torah. That they're willing to do every single commandment, whatever God wants. What do you want me to do, God? Anything. God says, I don't want you to do anything. I want you to just put on tefillin. I want you to be a good person. I want you to learn Torah. I want you to be nice. I want you to be honest. I want you to be not lazy. Right? That's what I want you to do. Maybe you'd like something else. It says that when God went around and gave the Torah, when he gave the Torah to the Jews, so he went around to all the non-Jews and he said, would you like the Torah? So they said, yeah, sure. Why not from God? What's written in it? So God said, don't kill. And they said, nah, we don't like that commandment. Now, why did God say that? He said he went to, B'nai Esav, said don't kill. They couldn't take it. If God would have said, honor your mother and father, they would have said, well, that's a nice commandment, We'll take that. Yeah, sure, the Italian mafia guys, they love their mother, their father, then I did it all for the family. I'm doing it all for the family. So, or if he would have gone to Yishmael, Yishmael. And he said, what they said, don't steal. And again, can't. I got to steal. Stealing is a necessary thing. If he would have gone to them and said, keep Shabbat, one rest day. Oh, that's a nice thing to rest a day. He told each group, each race, whatever it was, exactly what they didn't want to hear. Right? When he came to the Jews, he knew that no matter what he would tell the Jews, they wouldn't want it. No matter what. If he would have gone to the Jews and said, be a nice guy, they say, talk to somebody else. Right? Don't be lazy. Come on. Go to the Ishmaelis, leave me alone, Anything, no matter what God would have said to the Jews, they wouldn't have done it. Honor your mother and father. I don't like my mother, personally. I have issues, So what did he say? The Jews were smart. They said, Na'aseh, we'll do anything you say. We're not going to, if we start asking questions, there's no end to it. The Torah is totally against the nature of the Jewish people. The nature of a Jewish people is no one's going to tell us what to do. Stiff-necked people. No one will tell me what to do. You're not going to do it. Right? I'm not going to tell you. No way. The godly soul of the Jew, it wants to do what Hashem says, but the godly soul of the Jew is not the ruler. Who rules? The natural animal, the human soul of a Jew. Right? See, you look at a Jew that's non-religious, totally non-religious, doesn't know anything about Torah, the mitzvahs, and a Jew that is religious, you see different people. Sometimes it's worse. Sometimes you see the religious people are worse, right? It could be, right? Because they're not really doing what it says. Okay, that's a different question. Somebody told me the bigger the beard, the bigger the gun of. The bigger, which I told him this is not true because I happen to know people with very short beards and they're also gone up. Okay. Anyway, the Torah, and anyway, if a person takes the Torah seriously, it's going against the nature of a Jew. Those Jews that you see them, that they do whatever bad things, they're not really taking it seriously. They're just taking it on the out.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Very good. So every Jew, inside of his soul, every Jew, benefesh penima, b'si hanacha, v'si hakalata, the ultimate certainty and the ultimate acceptance, emuna b'kodesh baruch hu, faith in God. Every Jew has it. Even we. Every Jew has this ultimate trust and faith in God. Even more, says the Rebbe. Ein hu zakuk halal le'amuna. A Jew doesn't really have to have faith in God. Shekein HaKodesh Baruch Hu mehuto, kocho v'chayoto. By a Jew, the most obvious thing in the world is that God exists. Most obvious thing. We don't feel it. That's what we're saying in the Mimer. We're going to learn again in the Mimer. As soon as the godly soul comes into the body, then all of a sudden you need to contemplate. You have to think. Because you're getting bombarded with all these ideas, right? It's like they used to do. There was there's the saying that you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. Jewish people always held out very strong for their Judaism. In the time of the Tsar, they tried to make them convert. They would kill people. They tortured them. They took the kantanistim, the children. The stories of God. Terrible things. Jews always held on strong to their Judaism. Always held on. All of a sudden, you came along, Napoleon. Napoleon all of a sudden changed the whole thing. He was a nice guy. He knew how to be really nice. He knew how to appeal to the Jews' sense of freedom, to the Jews' sense of... And all of the leaders of Judaism were for him. All of the leaders of Judaism, they were all in favor of Napoleon. You want to be religious, you'll be religious. You don't want to be religious, you won't be religious. But if you do want to be religious, he'll let you be religious till the end. He's not going to make trouble like the Tsar did. He hasn't got any ideas about bringing everybody to religion. Napoleon himself doesn't like religion so much, right? Everybody's going to be that. All of a sudden, Jews started leaving. They started leaving Judaism. They started leaving. France was the first place, and all of the great leaders of Judaism were for Napoleon, because he said that the religious people can do what they want. The only one that was opposed was the Alter Rebbe. It could be that there were others, actually. I mean, this is the story that I learned. It could be that there were others. I don't know who they were, but they could.
The reason Napoleon was so successful in the war because he fought on Sunday. Until Napoleon came along,
nobody fought on Sunday.
Nobody fought on Sunday. It was Shabbos later.
And so he fought on Sunday. Right. All the soldiers were in church, huh? Interesting. I didn't know that.
No wonder why Lubavitcher Rebbe doesn't like him.
I didn't know. Anyway, okay, good. All right. It could be that I didn't know. In any case, he came along and he said a new thing. And it was pretty much the same thing with communism. All of a sudden, communism came along and there were Jews that were the big leaders. But Napoleon sort of started the whole thing. He took Jews away from Judaism. Right. He wanted to make a Sanhedrin, a secular Sanhedrin in Israel. He wanted to make Israel the home of the Jews. He really was like a Zionist. He wanted to make Israel the home of the Jews. It was going to be a secular state. There would be a new Sanhedrin. There would be people that would... So he already started the idea that Jews don't need Torah and mitzvahs anymore. You can get along in the world really good without any Torah and mitzvahs, and Jews left Torah and mitzvahs, and they got along good. And it worked. Right? And these ideas spread around until, I guess what it was, almost 100 years ago. And Napoleon was defeated in 1914? Huh? 1814. What is it?
40. Wasn't it with the revolution or something like that? 42 or something?
No.
Was it?
No. That was the Alter Rebbe was the 1814. That was Beethoven's big. What was it? His wasn't it the victory? His victory thing. I think so. Fifth Symphony. I think that was in the 1812 overture or something like that one. 1812.
support this logic of thought.
You have to look and see what it was. Austerlitz and this. It's pretty interesting, actually. He was amazing. Napoleon was amazing. He was truly an evil person. But that's not the point. The point I want to make is that he set the scale. He set the thing. All of a sudden, Jews started thinking freely. It was almost 100 years later. It was a little bit more than 100 years. But the ideas started fermenting. After that, all of a sudden, these ideas of communism, Zionism, all of a sudden Jews they were free. They could think of any of these weird ideas they wanted to. And communists, all the Jews in Russia, with rare exceptions, all grasped communism. They loved it. No boundaries. And there were a few Jews, there was Breslov, there was Chabad, that they held on to Judaism no matter what. Almost all of Breslov, they all died. They died of starvation, whatever. Chabad, because they had the Rebbe as the leader, so it doesn't make any sense really how Chabad existed either. But because the Rebbe led everybody, so God did big miracles. I can't really explain what happened, how it was. There was also much less number of Breslov than there were in Chabad. Anyway, every Jew, therefore, his essence is Hashem. And even though that this can be covered over, and even though that the world can confuse him, like Napoleon did, like communism did, like Zionism did, like all these ideas, wonderful ideas did, but nevertheless the Jewish soul always remains clinging to the essence of God and to the Torah. Alul amnom, liot shistrababu lenafsho shel adam gormim amalimim mastirim. It could be that there are things which conceal hanacha v'klita etanazu, that conceal and disturb this acceptance of the connection of the godly soul to the animal soul, like we're learning in the morning. Things can confuse, because what connects the godly soul to the animal soul? Do you remember?
Yeah.
The intellectual soul, nefesh hasichlit. And there's all sorts of bizarre ideas that can come into your intellectual soul and make you think, what do I need this Judaism for? What's the point?
You have to control
Right.
your
Oh, we'll see. Well, that's why there says we'll see what the answer is over there. But nevertheless, it can be confused. But deep inside of every Jew is the Torah, Hora'ah, teaching. B'kol Ish Yisrael, every single Jew, Nimset B'kir Irbo, inside of him is found the Torah Kula, the whole entire Torah. That's what we got on Mount Sinai, but on Shavuos. Lo mishum askamato, not because of his agreement or because of understanding. She'en devorim amitztamsamim betachum mesuyam umubal. These depend, his understanding and his agreement, this depends on only certain situations and certain ideas. Ki im mishum heyosa Torah, because the Torah is mora darcho shel adam. This is the roadmap of a human being, even if he doesn't want it. Right? You don't agree with the roadmap of Hong Kong, right? You know, you go into the city of Hong Kong, right? You don't agree with the roadmap. But that's the roadmap, right? You can say, I don't want to turn left here. I'm going to turn right over here. But it'll take you into the sea. I don't care. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. That's ridiculous. The Torah is the roadmap for man. And it tells you what the way is. Of course, the Torah is a little bit different, because the Torah gives you the chance to make as many mistakes as you can possibly humanly make. Right? That the Torah does. V'gam az hi makifa v'choderet et penimim shel adam. And then the Torah is permeated and enters into a person in every single aspect of his life, because the Torah is Hashem. The Torah comes from the God who's creating you. God's creating your finger. He's creating your nose. He's creating your eyes. He's creating your teeth. He's creating these things. He wrote the Torah. It's the manufacturer's instructions to tell you what to do with these things. But you have free will. God also created that. You can do whatever you want to. But a Jew deep down inside says, but I really want to do what God wants. I have the choice to do anything I want, and that's what I want. What's the teaching from this? If you try to bring other Jews closer and back to Judaism, he'll always meet up with Jews that'll be totally far away from Judaism. They want absolutely no, I know all that stuff I learned in Yeshiva, don't tell me. I know the Gemorahs. Tell me what Gemorah you're learning. Baba Basra. On Daf Kof Daled Almad Base, there's a Shiloh over there. Tell me what the Tosfos says. I don't know. It says, I do know. And I know that the whole thing is obsolete and I don't want anything to do with it. Now leave me alone. You meet Jews like that. So what can you think? Ein lo lihi bahel. Don't be scared. Lo yityayesh, and don't give up. Kevan shenavshel panima yesh tachlit haklita v'hanacha shel inyanim, because inside of this Jew's soul, he has the ability to accept all the things she'al Yehudi lamin behem, everything that a Jew is supposed to believe in. V'hanacha zu bilti mugbalati, and this is unlimited. Every single Jew has an unlimited ability to understand and to accept the godliness of the Torah and the ideas of the Torah. Shekain zeh kol mehuto, because that's the whole essence of what a Jew is. It's not an additional thing. I'm a Jew and I'm also religious. Yesh rak l'salek adavarim, you just have to get rid of the things that conceal, and then you reveal what is inside. In other words, you're not trying to convince, you're not trying to invent a person and bring him into something new. You're just trying to reveal something that's already there. And not only the thing that's already there, that's his essence. That's his true identity of every single Jew. That's the fact, right? Like so I heard once a speaker say, if a person goes crazy and he thinks he's a dog and he takes it off all of his clothes and he goes to the bathroom on water hydrants in the streets, so they'll put him into a mental institution. But they put him into a mental institution for people, not for dogs. Because no matter how much he thinks that he's a dog, he's not a dog, right? You can act like a dog, you can bound like a dog, you can look like a dog, you can have an operation so it looks like it has fur like a dog. But the fact is, he's a human being, right? He's no matter what. The same thing a Jew. A Jew can look like a non-Jew, he can act like a non-Jew, he can talk like a non-Jew, do everything like a non-Jew. But the fact is, he's not a non-Jew. The fact is, he's a Jew. And eventually he comes back to the fact. Back to the fact. The fact is, and when you realize, when you reach the inside of every Jew, and it has to be done in a nice way, in a kind way, you can't start screaming at people. And also from inside, he arouses his Judaism. And also outside, also there's stimuli, and there's an environment that's conducive to him revealing himself. Mashpia shnei gorim yachad, and these two things together affect on a person. She betavach bein penimius or hashpa zulos, from inside. In other words, the feeling he already has inside that he's a Jew, and also from the outside stimulus, from someone coming and saying, "What do you say? Maybe put on tefillin. Come on, do a mitzvah. What do you care? It doesn't cost anything. Worth $1 million." Then it will affect the other person, and it'll affect also you. You'll also be affected by this person and think, hey, maybe there's really something to this tefillin that this guy puts on tefillin. Maybe it's really true. Yeah? And maybe I'll start to think about it differently when I put it on. Zot hachova, this is an obligation, which is upon every single Jew. Legeshet liyudi, to go to another Jew. Ulesalek et hagormim hamalim et nekudato, to remove the things which are interfering with him feeling his true inner identity. Yedua hari pitkamo shel admor zaken, like it says, that's known what the Rebbe said, the Alter Rebbe said, Gam seder hakadima ha'ichor shebetorah hichilek mi'atorah. That what it says in the Torah is also the order that things should be done in life. What's the first commandment in the Torah? Pru uravu. One Jew makes another Jew. Kolomar, I'll call Yehudi, that every single Jew, liyatzar Yehudi nosef. Every Jew has to make another Jew. That's the idea of, first thing in Judaism is, don't think only of yourself, think of others, and do what you can to carve it.
But first you have to think about yourself,
yes,
before you think about others,
yes,
so you can't take care of others.
That's right. But by taking care of others, it helps you to think about yourself also.
But first you have to take care of your
yes,
needs for other people's.
That's right. But other people are also your needs, it's true. So if you want to, on Friday, I go every Friday and put tefillin on people in the marketplace. If you want to come with me one Friday, you're more than welcome. Well, you're not more than welcome, you're welcome. I don't know, what is it, more than welcome? What does it mean? You're welcome. You're welcome. And Dan should be here soon, but let's just start the next one, okay? Vav. We'll do 1-2 paragraphs. Yeshna Torah, there's a saying by the first Rebbe of Chabad. V'asita Chag HaShavuot. You must make the holiday of Shavuot. She'be va'asita lo. This word means mashmut shel chul v'chulin. Yesh la'asot mizeh chag. You have to do and make, in other words, like you do and make things in the weekday, and you have to make your weekly and daily things, you have to make them into a holiday. Hahevdol ben Shabbat v'Yom Tov is that Shabbat you can't do any work. Not only work, you can't even do uvdin dechol. Even normal things you're not supposed to do. She'eno malacha me'achar ve'hem ma'aseh chol. You're not supposed to, for instance, on Shabbat, you're not supposed to run. Unless you're running to shul. You're not supposed to run on Shabbat. On Shabbat, you're not supposed to do exercise. It makes you sweat. Not a nice thing. You're not supposed to talk the way you usually talk on Shabbat. You're walking is supposed to, that's what it says. Shabbat and Yom Tov. Right. Mishum she Shabbat, because Shabbat is higher than the week. Kashem Kodesh Baruch Hu, just like God rested on Shabbat. In other words, there are 7 days of the week, which is totally unnecessary. God made the world in 6 days. That's enough. What does it have to have a 7th day? What did God do on the 7th day? Nothing. What do you have to have a nothing day for? Huh? He created rest. What does that mean, creating rest? What does it mean to create rest? You rest, there's nothing, you stop doing stuff. You're resting automatically. But you don't have to do something special to rest. God created the bed or something, he created a special chair. No, he just did nothing. What did he have to do that on Shabbat? Rest, because Shabbat is a spiritual day. Shabbat is a purpose day. All the other days God creates. On Shabbat, he pulls back. God pulled back, and he said he appreciates his creation. In a way, that's the soul of the creation. All the other 6 days of the week, that's the body of creation, and the soul of creation is Shabbat. And that feeling of Shabbat, that there is a soul of creation, you're supposed to bring into all the other days of the week. And you should know that when you're working, you're not working for yourself. You're working for the creator of the universe. There's a creator of the universe. And Shabbat is the day that you give him credit. You give him credit on Shabbat. And that should carry on to the rest of the days of the week. So that when you pray in the morning on the rest of the week, you haven't got so much time as you do on Shabbat. When you pray on the rest of the days, you remember the feeling you had on Shabbat, that there's a creator, he's creating me, he wants me to work in the world. He's really the one that's providing it success. He's really the one that's giving me the money. He's really the one that's giving me my good luck and my health and my ability to do things. Right? He's really the one that gets all the credit. God. You know, it says that that's the reason the spies did not want to come, the Meraglim. They didn't want to come to the land of Israel. They didn't want to come. They refused to go in. Why? Because they believed in God. They were very religious people. And they were afraid that they would go into the land of Israel, they would forget God. In Israel, they have to do all the work themselves. So a person is going to say to himself, well, I got to do all the work and I'm going to give all the credit to God. No way. I'll stay in the desert. God will give me my food. He'll give me my water. And now I'll give him all the credit because he's doing all the work. Right? But no way that I'm going to do all the work and God's going to get all the credit. It's not going to happen. Right? So he says that's the purpose of Shabbat. Shabbat comes to teach you that really God is really the one that's doing all the work. You have to wake up in the morning. You have to drive to work. You have to talk to the clients. You have to get new merchandise, and you have to sell it, and you have to do everything. You have to deal with all these people. You have to do everything. He says, yeah, it's true, but who are you? Like, who am I? What do you mean, who am I? Shabbat comes along and says, I get it. I'm just a creation. It's a big miracle that I can wake up in the morning. It's a miracle that I can buy merchandise. It's a miracle that I can go to shul, that I can go to
It's a shame if you waste the Shabbat.
So what?
It's a shame when you waste the Shabbat.
Shame when you waste the Shabbat, yeah. People like in Israel, there are speakers that talked about this. People in Israel, they go to the beach on Shabbat. Right. So what do? They go to the beach on Shabbat. The whole Shabbat they're resting. What do they rest? They go, they play, they run, they this. It's hot. You're sweating. You go swimming. You come home. You're tired, more tired than when you went. But you're knocked out, totally knocked out. Right? Then the next day, what do you have to do? You have to go to work. It says, enjoyed yourself. I enjoyed myself. Yeah.
I need a week of rest to get over Shabbat.
It's bad enough, you go to the beach, you see all these ladies walking around. You look at your wife, you look at these ladies. Your mind is working more on Shabbat, right, than it's working the whole rest of the week, right? Oh, look at this.
They were mentally tired. Mentally tired, physically tired.
Tired, yeah.
You lay down on the beach for 10, 5
So
hours.
a person, ideally, it's supposed to be you go to shul. I mean, shul can be the most boring experience that a person can ever experience in his whole life. Is going to shul. Much more boring than just go to sleep or play Snake or something like that. Because you do nothing whatsoever. You don't understand what's going on. And then you're supposed to stand up, you're supposed to sit down. But the idea is you're supposed to understand what it says in the Siddur. And you're supposed to start to think about it. Is this stuff really true? And I mean, really praying to God? There really such a thing as God? By understanding this, it gives you a different feeling. What's that?
That's Rabbi Dan's kid.
Oh, his kid? Oh, okay, good. All right, rabbis. Rabbi, what's okay? Rabbi